And then we came to the main event of the evening for the WWE. What is the title now? The undisputed. Where is it? The undisputed WWE champion or the undisputed world? No, the other guy's the world champion. Let me ask you this: if Damian Priest says he's the world champion, doesn't that mean he's disputing that Cody is the fucking undisputed champion?
Cody was the Universal Champion.
But they quit saying that.
Right. Who's WWE? Which one of them is just not world, no actual body, just WWE?
It's Cody. Because the world title is the one that Damian Priest won from Drew McIntyre after he beat Seth and only held it 5 minutes and 46 seconds. But the point of that we've been trying to drive home about, goddamn, just have one champion. Here's another illustration. What do you call the undisputed champion? Well, because what do you mean, what do you call the undisputed champion? We call him the world champion. Well, the other guy's the world champion. Isn't that guy disputing the fucking other guy being the undisputed champion? Who's disputing who here? All right. After AJ entered the ring, before Cody even started, the fans were just singing at the top of their lungs.
And dancing. Their hands were going. I mean, it was
yes,
like a lot of movement.
It was like goddamn jazz hands, and the fucking in the funhouse mirror, everything was shaking, and the building was shaking, and they were shaking, snapping their fingers. They were moving round and round. And they were singing. And then when Cody, when his music hits and he makes his entrance, they're singing his song in the English words, right? And that's where I realized at that point, if the WWE says, fuck it, we're going to do half of our pay-per-views now that it doesn't matter what time zone they air live in anymore, we're going to do half our pay-per-views around the world for crowds like this. It'll pay premium fucking money and be thankful for the experience. Wow, that sounds swell. So, I mean, this match was excellent. It's two wrestlers, veterans. They're smooth. They can work. They're not going to do anything stupid. They're not going to do anything unnecessarily dangerous. Everything's dangerous and there's risk, but they're professionals and they're not going to do stupid shit. But the crowd also helped put the match over the top too, because they were batshit. But with Cody and AJ, and it's I'm not trying to be detrimental to AJ's talents when I've said that nobody really wanted to see this match as a big match to pay to see, because everybody knows that Cody's not going to lose it after he just won it, now that everybody's smart. That's something that the guys in the days gone by didn't have to put up with. Well, you could have a challenger the next month and people, oh shit, they'd get worried. Oh my gosh, this guy looks tough. Now everybody's smart. Okay, they're not going to change it that quick. But I can't think of too many people on the roster that Cody could have a better match with, and just a good world title defense against a guy that's had a name and has been there and etc. And they're pros and they know what they're doing. And plus, I actually got to see somebody take a backdrop. Good God. Last week in a 5-minute segment, I saw a motherfucker's chop 62 times. This is the first backdrop I've seen in a month and a half in a wrestling show. Anyway, they built it from the start. So they did wrestling first, and they got rougher. They did some running spots, and then they pulled out bigger bumps. And, again, you can't fault anybody's effort in it. And the people in France loved it because it was a great match, and they were loving it because they were there, as we've mentioned many times. At one point, they started chanting "Fight Forever." Do you think Tony Khan is going to take out an ad in French magazines with a discount video game for them?
I don't think there's much that could be done to sell that game. If only some people had known well beforehand that game was going to be a bomb.
Way beforehand. And gone on tape and on record with it. But nevertheless, They went back and forth, boom, boom, boom. And finally, Cody hit a super Cody cutter from the top rope and then hit the crossroads 1, 2, 3. Again, great match. It was a contest, no silliness, no burying the referee, not extensive furniture moving. They weren't on the floor for 5-minute stretches because they're professionals and they have talent. They can do this. They don't have to use the smoke and mirrors so people won't know that they're the shits. And the best part about it, at least in my estimation, the whole pay-per-view was over in 2 hours and 50 minutes. Brian, what were your main event thoughts?
Yeah, the timing was good. I mean, it was only a few matches. I thought it was a really good main event. And to me, I have a difficult time with matches where you know what the outcome is going to be. You knew Cody was going to win. There's no way AJ was going to win the title. You need something to pull you into it. And the fans singing for AJ every time he had any offense was incredible. It almost got me to think they could do it. Could be one of those Ron Garvin in Detroit moments where all of a sudden the fans can't believe it. It's happened for them.
Yeah. Despite any logic or reason to the contrary.
That's exactly
right. This has happened in front of us right here.
For no good reason. Maybe they have a show coming up in Chicago that they could follow up on. But a really good match. Really, really good match. And the crowd was the story. The crowd made the whole event incredible. And, you know, I don't like the Saudi Arabia show so much in the middle of the day, beyond any geopolitical reasons. I don't know, the crowd being, not that they're dead, because they'll probably be dead if they don't cheer and boo, but not that they're dead, but when
they're probably a more reserved culture that is not used to whooping it up out in public over there.
But when you see this show in France, and again, it's in the middle of the day it aired here, it aired at 12:30 or 1:30, whatever it was. You know, in the middle of the day, that's the kind of wrestling I could watch live in the middle of the day, something that lively. It really pulls you into it.
Well, and remember, regardless of the time zone, the Puerto Rico show, because they were so fucking into it, because they hadn't gotten a big show.
Yeah.
And that's where that was the first time we remember they had to use the small stage and entrance setup to get more people in there. And obviously Vince loved the pageantry. And there were points in time where you needed to have the big entrance and block some seats off because they weren't selling anyway. But Vince would have taken the pageantry over the fucking profit. I think the new owners are like, we're maximizing revenue. And it looks, to me, I agree with them because it looks like the company is a bigger deal when every seat in this entire giant arena is full with a little stage to walk out rather than, well, I see 10,000 people, but the stage cut half the fucking building off.
Yeah, now instead they could return to each one of these places once a year and break the record they set the year before.
But that's they've got England, they got Ireland, they got Scotland, they got Germany, they got France, they got all the other countries that I'm not good enough with geography to list off. But the Saudi Arabia thing, we know all the various reasons with the politics and etc. And also, they just don't seem like, when you look at the crowds, they're cheering, they're enjoying things, but they don't seem like the kind of smart crowd that follows everything and knows the songs, the words, the backstories to all the guys, why they're mad at everybody like the European fans do. And I think that's, they're going to be able to make a lot of fucking highlight videos off shit they're going to do internationally over the next little while.
Well, the fans keep cheering when their favorite soccer players aren't yanked off the field and shot in the head. It usually helps that fan base continue with their jovial cheers and songs and chants. But that was AJ versus Cody, and that was Backlash.
Yes, and this has been the Jim Cornette Experience. So we're coming back to do more of these programs on different topics in a few days with the Drive-Thru, aren't we?
That's right, and Ric Flair's on the loose. Vince McMahon's up to his dirty tricks. Tony Khan.
Still scared for his life, probably.
He can't take this lightly. He needs some attention. I'm sure he'll do something.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I've got to get off here now because I got to call and order me a Paisano's pie direct from the bathroom in Gainesville.
Paisanos. Can you imagine like a family pizza place? He's in there. Ric Flair's causing problems. And if the story's true about the old woman in the wheelchair who was blind, and he's eating pizza and wooing at people.
There's going to be somebody saying, that fat old bitch wasn't blind. I saw her waving a cab down out of her chair out front.
Yeah, you know what? The woo is the least problematic part of it. She didn't get to see what he whipped out.
Hey, the biggest problem was they wouldn't stock the wings and the energy drink at the bar. I wonder if Paisanos has a liquor license. Or is this like where you get tokens for the fucking to shoot the water in the clown's mouth type of pizza place?
If you're in the area, don't go here.
Don't go there. Whatever you do for a relaxing dining experience, go over to Chuck E. Cheese instead. It's much quieter over there. Anyway, are we done here?
Hey, Derek. Woo! Yes, we are done.
Quit knocking the nature boy. I was trying to give you a nice little graceful way to say goodnight, Gracie.
Okay, hold on. Good night, Gracie.
Good night, everybody, and until we see you next time, thank you, fuck you, and bye-bye.